Welcome back to Pole Barn Garage, where today we're going to be working on this wasted 1971 Le Mans Sport. I picked this thing up at that car lot where I got the 68 Cutlass and the Corvette for $500. Seems to be worth every penny. It's a little squished, but it is a sport. It has disc brakes, bucket seats, a console, floor shift, all kinds of goodies. It's worth quite a bit in parts, if nothing else. But of course, being a Pontiac, I want to see if it will run and drive again. The best way to have a parts car is to make sure all the parts work. I think the car is probably beyond saving, but who knows? There is one small issue with this though. So the hood is up, but appears to be rusted shut, and I can't get into the car. The doors are unlocked, but I don't know what to do about that. The car's in park. It was locked up, all four, when we drug it off. Now I'm putting a new building here, and there's a giant hole in front of it, so we can't drag it down the hill, and it needs to move. The only way I can figure to get into this thing is either break a window, or I noticed I can move this back window. This back glass moves. Maybe I can cut the back glass out and slip through, put it in neutral, put a chain on it, and then drag it away. Then we can put it in the shop and work on it. So best I can figure, I'll take my pocket knife here and just try to cut this back window out. These back glasses are worth quite a bit, so I don't want to break it. Need to save all the parts we can off of this. Could be good for that green 69 GTO we have in Iowa right now. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, this is working better than I thought it would. I didn't think it would be this easy. Is this what real car thieves do? They just cut the back windows out of cars to get into them? Holy crap, it worked. Oh, yeah. There's our way in.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. That's where the package tray is supposed to be. I'll go stash this at a safe place, then I'm gonna crawl in there. I'm going in. Where's JD when I need him? No! Oh, fuck. Oh.
Huh.
It's...
Oh, that smell's been sealed in there a while, huh?
Oh, yeah. Any keys in here? Oh, oh no. No poop in there. Yeah, there we go.
I'm already holding my nose.
Let this thing air out a little bit. I could have just come in through the bottom.
Oh god. Oh, it brought the Lulu in though. I smell mice.
Let me see if I can get these doors open. Oh, come on. I don't think that's working.
Nope, it's just stirring up a lot of probably literal poop. Wiggled.
Yeah, it's
I don't know if that's it falling apart or trying to open, but
I'm gonna guess these doors probably aren't salvageable at all. Let's try to get the hood open, see if this motor even turns over. Man, I picked the best ones.
it's gonna rip apart before it comes open.
Holy sh! It is.
Oh my.
It's the...
They just belong together now.
The inner part of the hood is coming with it. Let me get a pry bar.
Oh, hi, Lulu. That's a good kitty. It's like a jungle gym for her.
I see the radiator's been robbed. I don't want to break the one good grill. Ugh.
Yeah.
Very sharp.
Ooh.
Oh.
crunchy.
There's the Pontiac 350. There ain't no way in hell that thing rolls over. It's got oil though. Let me get a breaker bar. I don't know if you guys can see that. That is the transmission cross member going vertically in the car. That means the transmission's laying on the ground probably, which means that either rotted out or the frame is rotted in half. That's impressive. I've never seen that before. Oh boy. Oh, it moves.
Oh my gosh.
It
Yeah?
freaking moves. What? Freaking Pontiac, man, I tell you what. You gotta work it back and forth a little bit here. I gotta either cut this AC belt off. It's getting bound up, and I didn't see that coming in a million years. I was really hoping I'd get out of doing a video on this. And that's something.
They just belong together now.
You know what? It rolled over. I mean, it moved. It'll run. All right, fine. We'll fix it. But you're not gonna like it. Oh, I don't think there's anything to hurt here, so I don't feel bad about it. I have one of these cars. You shouldn't feel bad about it either. Don't judge me. Oh, we're making progress. Oh.
The whole car is flexing.
No way, it's just ripping that off. Let me get a better purchase on it, but we'll see if the old Dodge will rip this off.
Did something at least.
And it worked exactly as I thought it would. God, I'm a genius. Anyway, let's try to get the steering wheel unlocked and then maybe put some air in these tires. I'm gonna lay in this pile of rat feces. I'm gonna take this lower dash panel off, try to drop the column and get to the ignition switch on top of the column. That should let us free up the steering wheel, and as well later on it'll give us a way to start it. Oh, heavy smoker. Oh. Ugh. You know what, we'll just put that back. I don't want to touch that. I found baseball tickets, or what's left of them in here. It's from the Royals. Club box, $9. 1985 World Series. Wow. Well, they were in the World Series in '85 anyway. It was stuck up here. Got two nuts that secure the column to the bottom of the dash here. I take these loose, I should be able to drop the column and get to the ignition switch. There's the ignition switch right there. This rod here gets pushed by the key, and if I just break that rod off right there, I can push on it and release the steering column. This will allow me to start the car. It won't let me, I can't move the rod because the rod's tied to the key on the other. Yeah, take the horn piece out, then I'll have to go get a steering wheel puller to pop this off of here, and we'll just take out the lock plate and it'll work just fine like that. So that's the lock plate. It hides underneath this little guy here. If you push that pin there, you can then move it. So I could either drill that pin out, or this time around I actually have a lock plate puller. So we could probably just go ahead and remove the lock plate and get it out of our way forever. You see it compressing the spring behind there. Yeah, I got half of it with these snap ring pliers. We just don't want it to pop back in there. There she goes. Aha! Much safer, a lot easier using the lock plate puller than your fingers. My thumbs are still sore from a few times over the years. Now we can turn the steering wheel. That's all that was for. This is hopeless, but let's see what happens anyway. Alright, well that one's not gonna go, but maybe we could at least get one. This one's probably the best one of the bunch.
No way.
No way.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Oh my gosh, it's moving.
Is it?
Yeah. Sure enough.
Holy cow. It's pretty scary.
Yeah. as you stand directly in front of it.
Well, yeah.
You can go for 75%?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Leaking some air out of the valve stem. Shove a little mud in there. That'll hold. Going?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Holy damn. Look at that. That's a good tire.
Apart.
Hey, this is really convenient though. The scrap pile's right over there. I had to go pick up the debris from it. Wow. It just tore the valance in half. And the transmission cross members up there. There's just a big rust stain where the car was sitting. This is a kind of a critical component here. Looks like it just rotted off on the ends of the cross member. I was glad to see that there's not transmission attached to the mount still. That would have really ruined my day. We could rig this back into the car. I got to get it in the shop before we could do anything like that. Let's work on figuring out how we're going to do that. Yeah, well, let's see if we can just shove it in there. I don't see anything that could go wrong here. Oh, this is going to end badly. I was gonna hook to the frame to pull the car sideways, but there isn't one. Oh God, not again. Oh my God!
Phil, you drove upon it.
This car's very ramp shaped.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what to do now.
I don't know either. It just kind of lives here for a minute. Swanee caught damage.
We'll go fix this real quick.
Okay. Like new.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's nighttime. The car's still out there. We're obviously not pushing it in. So I bought a Harbor Freight winch and mounted it to this 4x4 post. What could possibly go wrong? Oh my God. It's bending it. I'm just gonna stand in here. Got my buddy Zane out there steering. It looks so bad. It's technically in. Yes, it is. It bent the bracket a little bit. Welded the two brackets together, though. That held fine. We need to gain better access to the engine and get rid of this tetanus thing here. Yeah. There we go. Please don't break it in half. Well, or do. You know what? Yeah, you could break it in half. Oh, it is. Oh, it's just bleeding profusely from the transmission. Well, we better look into that. There's a hole in the transmission pan causing this bloodbath. And it's not because we smashed it or anything. It has a rust hole in it. I know. The car's really solid. And we just can't imagine that there would be any rust anywhere in it. But, you know, here we are. I'm going to try to shoot a roofing screw in it with a rubber washer and see if that stops it. Wow, that went in really easy. There's nothing left of that. Did it stop it? No. Okay, well that was a failure. Let me see if I have a pan laying around, I guess. That fluid looks really good. I feel safe being underneath this. So this transmission's been rebuilt. That is a zip tie with all the O-rings for the dipstick tube. And this one's for the kickdown cable, and that's what the transmission rebuilders will do that. They'll just leave that on there. You pick it up and use whichever O-ring you need for your dipstick. I literally found this pan in the scrap pile. I think it's off the Silver Dollar. I don't remember why I removed it, other than it looks really bad. I'm gonna clean it up, see if there's any holes in it. This might be a good one. It's even got a good gasket. Well, I cleaned it up. It looks alright. I don't know. I'm gonna pour some super clean in it. This stuff will kind of help eat that rust. It's pretty acidic. We'll fill it up with some super clean here and watch it for a minute, see if anything leaks out of it. So far, so good, I would say. You can see it literally reacting with the rust. It's not marketed as a rust remover, but I have noticed just personally that it kind of works. This thing ain't leaking a drop. It's good to go. Pull off this old one and see what's living inside of the transmission. Yeah, this gasket has shrunk a little, you might say. You'll get that when it's cold. So we'll just stick some bolts in there and let this RTV set up and reuse it, because we're all about recycling and going green here. The good thing is, I bet we just pull that self-tapper and we can just drain the pan. Oh yeah! Look at that rust hole and crack on the spring pocket. This frame is separating in the middle. This is next level stuff here. I mean, I'd say it's amazing, actually. Oh, it's like new. I'm not sure what the hell all that is, so we won't worry about it. There we go. That's all back on, except for the two that go in the shifter cable bracket. We'll have to jack the transmission up, try to get the cross member back in. It is the frame that rotted away from it over there, so that's going to be interesting, but that's a tomorrow problem. But, you know, at least this way, if this thing's all buttoned up, we know we yank this motor and trans for something else. It should be good to go, you know, for another vehicle. Just in case I'm wrong about the condition of this pan, and, you know, maybe it's a little porous, let's just give her a coat of paint, and that should help seal up any porosity, you know, for the lifetime of this car at least. One other thing that tells me this transmission's been gone through is that the transmission lines have been replaced with compression fittings. It's tough to see, but there's compression fittings on them, and that's pretty typical of rebuild shops, that they'll just toss some compression fittings on them instead of messing with unscrewing them. Back out today, let's see if we can't rig a transmission cross member into this just to hold it up. Ramp car or no, I still want this thing to be able to move around the property, so we got to get that transmission up. This isn't going to work. I don't think it's going to sit back in there very happily. Maybe we just fix this with some self-tappers. Let me get this bushing out of here. Ugh. Man, I really know how to pick them, guys. I mean, nobody picks better cars than me. I'm not sure that should happen. The whole floor is moving when I lift up the trans, but now we got plenty of room to knock it over to where it's supposed to go, and then I don't have to unbolt that transmission mount that's not going to unbolt. I'm pretty sure this frame is compromised enough that I won't be able to weld to it, but it should be compromised enough that I can easily self-tapper to it, and that's what I will do. By using this 1967 or 8 Mustang underhood brace here, we'll just cap this, just like that, and then that's going to hold everything in there. No problem. I can see you there. You're doubtful. Don't be doubtful. I'm kind of an expert. Drop that jack down and it's gonna be perfect. Oh, boom, we have a cross member. Our next step here is gonna be put a radiator in it, hook up the transmission lines, that way we can retain the fluids in it when we try to get her started. But I think that's got to go first. Oh, I'm just gonna have to cut the belt out of the pulley and leave it. Well, I got the sumbitch out of there. Look at that. Man, that was in there. That ought to roll over a little better now without that binding up on everything. Absolutely certain that this lower radiator hose will just come right off of there. Oh God, yep, the screwdriver hole's completely rotted away, so guess I'll get a ratchet. That broke immediately. Ah, there we go. Snapped it right in half. Cut this hose off of here. with my Temu pocket knife here. It's been pretty handy. All I do is lose pocket knives if I carry a nice one, so carrying one around that was $1, this makes sense. Oh. Man, oh, it's just got rust pouring out of it. Cooling system in that thing is going to be a peach. It smells like R12. No R12 in it though. Now we're ready to stab a radiator in. This is an extra out of one of the vans. And if memory serves me right, a van radiator is actually the same as an A-body. I'm going to say it was the van from the desert given the rust that's pouring out of it. Let me go dispose of this quick. Properly. Now we have our pre-rusted radiator. And that's done now. Perfect. Let me find some clamps and an external transmission cooler for it. Here's a random oil and or transmission cooler off of something somewhere. It looks fine. Doesn't seem to be anything in it. So pretty sure it's off that big blue church van. But we'll slap that in there, hook up those transmission lines. Our radiator hoses are good to go. Zip tie the radiator in, and then we'll work on trying to get it to start. Got some hoses mocked up on this thing, and we'll just install it, and it's done. So now we'll just hook the hoses up, and it'll be good to go. It might seem counterintuitive to drill holes into your radiator, but this top plate here doesn't have anything behind it, and we need some way to, you know, loop some zip ties through there instead of bolts. So we'll just drill a couple, 3 holes in there. Somewhere right about, here. Yeah, right through this rust hole, jagged, sharp hole I drilled in the radiator. Same here, but we're going to reverse direction. That way we're torsioning towards the engine and away from it. It's science. I wouldn't expect everybody to understand. I guess it's time to see if there's anything under here. And there's definitely something. Oh, gosh, man, it's clean as a whistle in there. Got some acorns and stuff, but no big deal. Little 2-jet. That's a good little carburetor. You know, this will run. I mean, they're bulletproof, man. Fun fact, those were built in Rochester, New York. It's a Rochester carburetor. And it's mostly women on the assembly lines that built 2-jets and quadrujets. And I tell you what, those women knew what they were doing, because those are some of the best carburetors ever made. Oh yeah, mechanism still free. That thing's gonna run for sure. Most of the wiring appears to be intact, so that's a plus. You know, actually, I think the first thing we should do is get a battery set up in here. Somebody, you know, some crackheads come along and cut all the cables out of the cars out of that car lot. There is just enough battery cable sticking up out of here. I think I could put an eyelet on there and then bolt another cable to it, because otherwise on these Pontiacs you got to drop the starter to get to that, and it just ain't no fun. So let's assume the starter's okay, and we'll just rig up a battery cable there, and then the ground cable just bolts to the head here. That one will be easy. I've probably got one hanging on the wall right there, I think. Yeah. Alright, I've got that little nub there stripped back. Let's put an eyelet on it. It's not going to be great, but it should make enough contact for this to work. There's a pretty strong likelihood that I do all this, then I end up having to drop the starter anyway. But, you know, it's a gamble. There's at least a 25% chance that this half-ass fix will work, and then I don't have to get under the car. That's worth taking. This cable hanging on my wall, this ought to work. It's already got an eyelet on one end. Kind of eyeball out how far we need to go up here. Chop it off here, and put one of those clamp-on battery terminals on it. That's going to take care of that. We'll end up doing the same thing, making us one for the ground there. Just trying to repurpose some of the, you know, extra crap I've got laying around here. That's what these cars are really good at. Yeah, that should work just fine. So yeah, that's all set up now. Got that. We don't have anywhere to put the battery, but we've got a cable. All right, we're getting there. You have it. I use the finest duct tape available to secure that. Got a ground cable. Made that out of another used cable. I'm not totally sure what this piece of metal is. I'm pretty sure it's off my lawnmower. But, you know, that should make a decent battery tray. Just set right on top of there. Yeah. Just for giggles, let's hook the battery up, see if it bursts into flames. Not yet. And maybe we see if it cranks. Hop into the lap luxury here. Nothing. Great. Well, that's less than ideal. It means we either have a bad ground, which is very possible. I didn't really clean up that cylinder head, and the car is completely rotted away. Or we got something that's eaten or disconnected and we don't have no power. Maybe I should have cleaned this up a little bit before I slammed it on. It's pretty rusty. Go, let's see. And yeah, nothing. Battery's good and hot, so step one is probably going to be drop the starter and see if we have any power down there. I'll pop this wheel off so I can access the starter through the side here a little easier. Oh, there's our disc brakes, which is 90% of the value of the car. That spindle, and that's about it. I had an epiphany. I remembered that I'm actually an electrician and I can diagnose these things. So I went to the back of the alternator, and I've got power on there. The key is in the on position at the moment, so to the exciter wire on the alternator, we have power here. We have power on the coil, so it's charging the coil to make ignition spark. But what we don't have is anything actually producing, you know, a load. And that is probably a ground issue. We could really confirm that is the case. So I do have the headlight switch pulled. I think we got a headlight missing out of it, right?
Yeah.
Oh! Oh!
Oh! Well.
What? How long has that been on? I don't think it was on. Is it fixed? I mean, nothing worked.
Windshield wipers!
Okay, so we got some stuff.
Whoa!
Aha! I am the greatest mechanic to ever live! I turned on the wipers and now the car starts. Yes, as I was saying, there's no need to drop the starter on it and look at the connections. It's perfectly fine. Since we can crank, you know it'll run, because it's a Pontiac. Let's sand the points. Clean them up with a little bit of emery cloth. Clamber up here. Rotor looks good. I thought all the spark plug wires were eaten, but they just seem to be unplugged, actually. Well, I cleaned up the points pretty good. A little emery cloth here. They're working and sparking real nice, but check this out, and this is something everybody should look for on an old car that's been sitting. Brought my light over here so you can see a little better. There's your contact points under here. They cleaned up good, they're working, they look okay. However, this is your centrifugal advance plate. When this engine's spinning, these are weights, and they sling out like this. And it's starting to free up a little bit now, but you'll see what I mean. Whenever your engine's spinning, these springs expand, these weights sling out, and what it does is actually advances the rotor to give you advance with RPM so that you're getting spark before the cylinder's at top dead center. This is centrifugal advance. It gets called a lot of things. That's what it is. It's centrifugal motion that makes this happen. It's stuck though. But it is starting to free up, but it's very gritty, very bad. This one especially. You can see the rust under it. I kind of scraped it with a screwdriver, and that's why it's moving. So what we're going to do is just kind of wash this out with some brake clean maybe, and put just a little bit of grease underneath these weights just to help them slide, and just try to get this whole mechanism as free as possible. I can't tell you the number of times that I have got an old car, it just feels real doggy, down on power, and you know, that's been the case a lot of times. These are a lot better now. Nice and free like it should be. I didn't have any lithium grease, which is what you would want to use in here, so I just sprayed some penetrating lube all over them, and you know, that'll work fine. So let me slam this back together, let's get some wires on it, and you know, it's a Pontiac. I bet the fuel pump works. Unfortunately, I don't think the fuel pump's gonna work. You can see that the return line right here is actually rotted off. So yeah, that must have been above the water line. Okay, well, clicky clack it is. Oh, let's just make a real clean cut up here, you know, to hook our fuel line to. Clean us the ground off here. There we go. This seems like a good spot to put this, you know, right on the door. Why didn't GM ever think about that? You could easily service it whenever this is just screwed to the door. I mean, this is forward thinking. I'm sorry, folks. You know, I mean, I don't like to brag a lot, but I'm kind of a genius. Since this thing's a Pontiac, I have the most supreme confidence that it will run. And that being the case, let's just skip the brake clean and starting fluid and stuff. And we'll jump straight to the real stuff. Yeah, this is pretty normal, at least around here. This is how I fill up most of the cars. And you got to be quick about it. You really do. Otherwise, you have to pick up that whole boat tank full of gas and put it in there. Boy, it's just a mess. So now that everything's covered in gasoline in there, I'll get inside of the thing filled with dry, rat-eaten foam and start it. Oh God, why are they, no, stop. It's chaos. There are not a lot of upsides to using an electric fuel pump, but one of them is that I can basically make sure that this carburetor's working before, you know, we got a crank or anything, and it's not. So the needle and seat's probably stuck. Come on, baby. And now we've got squirting. Accelerator pump's working. Let it fill the bowl. Let's crank it, see what happens. Not sure what that's about. I don't know if maybe we don't have spark or something. That cap was in pretty bad shape. I don't know, maybe a couple squirts of this wouldn't hurt. I'm assuming we don't have spark. Maybe I didn't get those points clean enough. Cap was pretty rough. Wires are worse. We got good spark coming out of the coil. All these wires look pretty freaking bad, but boy, it takes a lot for that to not work. Yeah, let me see if I got another cap laying around here. Just change it out because the coil button was a little suspect. I changed the cap out, and right there in the middle you could see the coil button. This one's pretty flat. I mean, I've seen a lot worse run, but I don't know, I threw another one on it that I had, and it looked quite a bit better than this, so let's give that new cap a shot, see what happens. See if there's anything we can tell by the plugs. It looks fine. Number one looks fine anyway. Nice and brown actually. If I set the plug up on the carburetor here with the threads, it should ground through the carb. I should be able to watch it spark, or at least you can, and then I can review the footage. Cut open the wire loom here so I can get to the crank trigger wire. We'll have our own remote switch. Okay, so I see the points sparking away in there. Oh, I just realized I tested that spark plug with the cap off, didn't I? I'm pretty dumb. Rotor's turning, points are working, so our timing chain's good, and the points are blue, nice blue spark. They're firing. It should be doing something. Now we got to let's test for spark at the plug again. Nothing. There it went. Hell, you heard the engine try to start too, but it was sparking. Yeah, we got really good spark at the plug. Nice and blue. We'll just put that back and then not look at any of the others. The only thing to really do is just keep winding on it until something gives. Oh, it's trying. Yes! Come on, baby. Never give up on a Pontiac. Come on, baby. Let me get a better battery for it. I haven't cranked on that too much, but this battery's not happy. Let me get I got a fresh one, I got a brand new one I just bought for my other Lemans actually, so we'll put it in this one. Come on, man. I know you're putting fuel out. Yeah, you are. What's the deal? Do you want choked a little? Come on, man. Come on. Help me out a little. Well, that starter is going to be hating life. Wow! That fan clutch is very bad. Smoke coming off of the belts. Wow, it's smoky in here. Wow! It runs decent though. Shut that down, or we're going to lose those belts instantly, and also I will suffocate and die. Well, 350 runs pretty damn good, but I don't know if you guys could see it, but this was just sitting here, and I think oh god, yeah, it is. Ow! The freaking water pump is frozen solid on it. Now, the water pump is seized, and it was just spinning. I mean, just eating those belts, which, I mean, they're just belts, but still, bad things were going to happen. And I don't mind throwing a water pump on it because that motor sounds good. I didn't even hear a lifter tick out of that thing. Granted, we cranked on it enough to pump them up, but they did pump up. So because I'm a Pontiac guy, I of course have a brand new water pump just laying around. It's an El Cheapo one with the stamped steel impeller. You want to avoid these is what everybody says. Personally, I've never had any problems with them. But the cast iron impeller is a lot better. It's like the factory one, but this will definitely do for this. Other thing that might happen here is maybe we can get a pipe wrench on this, break it free and reuse it. See, the thing is with a Pontiac, there's 2 through bolts through the timing cover into the block, and they pass right above the coolant passages. Well, the thing is, the bolts are made out of steel, of course. The timing cover is made out of pop metal, and what happens is, it's called dissimilar metal something or other. Steel and alloys like that are exposed to corrosion. They really corrode and they end up just welding themselves together. And I've never done one of these where I didn't break off at least one. You could get away with one. We will not get away if we break off both. And I'm not fixing threads, so let's see what happens, I guess. Fan off of there. Loosen the alternator. Get the belts off. I would say that this entire Pontiac accessory drive here is probably worth at least 200 bucks, maybe 250. It's very rare to see the rear alternator bracket still intact, and it is kind of necessary. In fact, I know that's missing from my Lemans right over there, so guess where it's going. Fact is, I paid 500 bucks for this car. We got a transmission that's probably good. Looked really nice inside. It seems to have been rebuilt. We've got an engine that runs pretty damn good, and we've got so many miscellaneous little parts here. I would conservatively estimate that there's about $2,500 in parts here pieced out over time. Am I going to do that? No. But somebody would, and you could. So don't just judge a book by its cover. Yeah, the car looks horrible, and it was horrible. But that doesn't really matter, does it? Take water pump pulley off. Let me throw a pry bar on there and see if it'll break free. Oh, good of an idea this is. Oh, well, there it goes. No, I don't think that's... I mean, it broke free, but yeah, screw it. We don't want this thing overheating on us while we're driving around to the yard or anything. So well, the good news is I see RTV where it's had a water pump put on before. The bad news is that was probably done during the Carter administration. Holy cow. Yeah. Those are the ones. Dude, yes. Smart. See how greasy that is? Whoever put that water pump in there did what they're supposed to do. It put anti-seize all over that bolt and put it back in the hole. That will save these engines. But granted, it just is putting a Healy coil in maybe, if nothing else, but it's work that you wouldn't otherwise have to do with just a little bit of preventative maintenance. Cross your fingers. As rusty as this thing is, I would have never thought in a million years. This is all thanks to some mechanic way the hell back when who thought ahead and put a little anti-seize on the shaft of that bolt. Oh no, that looks bad. Oh, dude, that's... Oh, God. That made me lightheaded. Oh, what is in that thing? Oh my God, it smells horrible. It's rotten, like rotting flesh, like that sweet smell. I think there's mice in there. I think there were mice in there. Oh my God, it's gross. I don't want to know. Ugh, kill it. Kill all of it. Man. Oh, that's not good. This is the divider plate. You know, a lot of people end up leaving these out of Pontiacs, and yeah, it causes water pump cavitation and will cause overheating. Most Pontiacs have a wrap for running hot, and it's usually because somebody left this out. This one has the cast iron impeller on it. Far, far superior, according to other people, but I believe them. Now, you guys know me, I don't usually advocate for gooping the hell out of things with RTV, but when they're this rusty and porous, this is pretty much the only way you're going to get things to seal. Okay, got the diverter plate installed there. Those all too important through bolts here. I've got them slathered up with some molly so that hopefully, if I'm not the next guy that touches it, at least whoever does won't have to worry about that. And I'll just put these old belts back on. They got a lot of life left in them. 15, 20 minutes maybe. Tension that properly by pulling on it as hard as I can. Sure am glad that I broke my 1/2-inch ratchet wrench. This is wonderful. I love putting on fans like this. It's great. Please visit polebarnmerch.com and get you one of these sweet hoodies or a hat. Maybe a sticker. Give me a new 1/2-inch ratchet wrench. No, just kidding. But seriously, you know, get you a shirt. They're cheap. We're all buttoned up here, and let's see if it sounds a little better now. I bet I got the key off. Yeah, you can tell because the windshield wipers try to turn on every time. Why are you doing this? Let's see if we got any spark. No, we have absolutely no spark. What the hell? I mean, maybe, hang on, let me grind it over here. Runs pretty good with a spark plug out of it. So the last time I started it, I pulled a plug out of it, grabbed the plug looking for spark, and it started to fire. What is the correlation there? See if the sumbitch will run with all 8 in it. Maybe it just doesn't like having that one in. I don't know. Why are you losing power as soon as I let off of that? I think it's the ignition switch. I think it's really flaky. If I don't have this in like just the right spot, it doesn't work. Like they say, old Pontiacs never die. It's definitely on fire, but it's just a matter of where.
What kind of fire?
Yep. Let's go ahead and try to put some brakes on this thing. I know, that probably sounds like a complete waste of time, but it's really not, because this is a disc brake car, and the spindles are worth quite a bit. So if we could just get the brakes, just the front brakes to work, you know, then we've got a good disc brake setup to use in something, and boy, that's worth something, you know. I mean, I'm excited about having that around. What I'm not willing to do is make all the brake lines from scratch. So hopefully we could save, well, I mean, with like one would be fine. Just one of the fronts. And yeah, that's sort of amazing. Sometimes you really got to appreciate the little things when it's something like this. Well, be damned. I mean, it's pretty gross, but there's fluid in it, by God. It's crazy on the cars that are in this kind of condition what is still good. Regardless, I'll replace it with a real cheapy unit. Just, you know, save myself some headache, probably. Yuck. Look at that. The piston looks really nice. Let's throw this thing on the shelf and keep it. I mean, you know, if we need one in a pinch, this one would probably do it. Bench bleed the master cylinder. At least we're not looking for perfection this time, you know. Kind of takes a load off of you to just know we only really need half of this thing to work. This is now the nicest thing on the entire car. Let's see about getting these calipers off. Hell, the pads look like new on them. This thing must have just had pads and rotors put on it pretty shortly before it got parked. Rotors are very nice. I'm sure that line is definitely not rotted in half. I mean, what? It definitely wouldn't be. That brake caliper was full of fluid. Well, the brakes might have worked. Who knows? The copper washers supplied with the caliper don't fit the banjo bolt that came with the caliper. Yeah, it looks like we'll just probably reuse these old ones here. Yep, that's the plan. I love it whenever brand new parts come with all the wrong stuff. Let's load it up with our brand new old pads here. We'll leave the brown recluses alone in these because those will provide extra friction. That's all buttoned up. Let's go to the other side, knock it out. Now let's see if this thing will bleed. Starting to get a little something anyway. I guess I'll take what I can get. I know it's this hose. If I mess with this rubber hose, I can get fluid out of it. Shockingly, this brake line exploded. Who'd have seen that one coming anyway? I really don't want to dive that deep into these brakes. I have one brake hose from a truck right here. And I have some pre-made lines, assorted random stuff I've had laying around. So I'm just going to kind of cobble enough together to make that left brake work, and that'll be good enough. Once again, my engineering is utterly brilliant. Look at that. It flexes. That's for jumps. Yes. Yes. There it goes. Hell yeah. This one will work, and that's good enough. I'm actually getting some fluid out of that side. Also, I yanked out this marker light here before something happened to it. These things are nearly impossible to find. And I think my car needs one. Oh, my car has the amber ones. Damn. Well, maybe we could find another clear one. I am going to drop the oil in this thing. So I think this motor is definitely worth keeping. So let's make sure it stays in good shape. Oil's really clean, actually. Wish she got one of them good Fram filters on her. I think that dangly thing was actually inside of it, but nah, it's alright. Filling her up with a little rotella. You know, it's not the best thing to put in an old engine. You really want to use like a VR1 or Joe Gibbs oil or Driven oil or, you know, any of that crap. But it does have zinc in it. It's just not quite the right kind of zinc. So look that up. You can find the articles about it. We'll fill it up. It'll be good enough for this, and it'll protect this thing. It's a good motor. Put a gallon antifreeze in. It didn't fall out. Let's put some water in here. Want to give it the real stuff, you know, protect that block. If it sits around too long, you just never know, so it's better to do it now. Then we're going to get this thing set on the ground and clean it out a little bit so we don't leave crap all over my yard. I don't know if you can tell, but it kind of looks like that engine is sitting in there crooked. So that transmission mount's broke, obviously, and that transmission's probably kicked over. So I'll go fix that real quick. Oh, my buddy Zane gave me these Chevy Rally wheels the other day, so this seems like a good use for them. They'll be good when we take this baby to the cruise nights and stuff, you know. I think the back will just stay on the ground when we drop this. Yeah, pretty much. Somebody smashed the back of this car, and now I can't get a jack under the back. So we'll put it under this frame that's totally fine. Now I can get under the pumpkin. Very normal. This happens all the time. Are you ready to clean this? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Drink your goo. The AG1 goo there. That'll protect you from whatever's in here. Unfortunately, open diff. The other wheel's turning opposite of this one, so that means there's some spider gears in there. Hate this. Maybe I get a sledgehammer. Please don't kill me.
Ooh,
there we go.
Nice.
Just had to let it soak a little bit.
Oh my goodness.
Well, that already did it for me.
Oh, there you go.
That's a good
Handy.
muffler. Yeah, we'll keep that.
All right.
And cut the rest of this mess out of here. Yep. Balls.
How did that get pinched in there?
Oh, I don't know. You know, those damn parking lot attendants. You know what? You can have this car. I need this hood trim or something. There we go. Look at that. That's a pretty nice hood trim, actually. The ramp back is kind of handy. Ready for the examination. Oh no.
Doesn't have the snap I was hoping.
Liver's Bronze Company? What the hell is that?
Spiders.
Oh no. This part of his insurance card. Yeah, this side's a lot better. I got the better one here. Heave!
Oh, oh my god.
Oh yeah.
It's so much worse.
I can fix the shifter right there, no problem now. Oh my god. Well, there goes another year.
Yeah.
This is the worst I've ever seen. And I've had a lot of really bad cars, as you guys know. Fine.
A penny.
Oh god, a whole cent. I found one too, but it's not very recognizable anymore.
Oh, it's a bead.
Oh, a
For
bead.
my arts and crafts.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Got some brand new light bulbs. One dome light bulb. And a handful of fuses in here for some reason. Have fun. The inside of the car is more livable. What's left of it. Now I'm gonna vacuum out all this loose crap up here and oh man, and I still got to get it in gear. That's kind of a problem. Just clean up that glass real quick. There's nothing wrong with it. No. Glass is actually cleaning up fairly decent. Let me see if I can get to the shifter linkage. And I can. It's right there. And I'll just stand back and there we go. Just hose all the. Somebody sent in some free all. I didn't see the name on the package, but thank you, whoever it was. Oh, it's actually doing what it's supposed to do. The key, there's a key lock on it right there. You take this off and then it'll work. What are you doing?
Windshield.
Yeah, I'll just cut that. It works. Why is there antifreeze pouring out of the inside of the car? Damn it, the heater core's gone, just like that Cutlass. Oh. Well, that means at least the engine got full of coolant and didn't leak it all out, so that's something. But we'll just have to loop this heater hose over back to itself there, and that should take care of that. Just saw through these, and there, using a Chevy water fitting here for the heater on a small block, and a couple of air conditioning clamps off of this car. Yeah, we just, shoved that together, and now that's definitely not going to blow off and burn my face off. Well, let's get this heat fired up, check that transmission fluid, make sure that's good before we go driving around. My brake pedal's so rusty it won't come back up. I need to spray it with something. Look at this disaster.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God. It was clean. What? Now let's go ahead and fix the brakes. Oh, there we go. Now they return. They were just sticking straight to the floor. So they weren't very happy about that. Let me get the throttle linkage while I'm here. It eliminates rust.
It's gonna make the car disappear.
Oh shit. All aboard.
Yes.
Hard to start. Got brakes. My God. I fell down. Look through the floor. Oh, she's a runner. Oh, this will go down the road. Let's do it. Turn. Not too bad. Don't worry about it. Everything's fine. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. They did a good burnout.
At least that's just burnout smoke in there.
Well, that's what we think anyway.
I think.
How about do it again? This thing's got some ass to it. That old 350 got a lot to give. This is absurd, by the way. I don't know if you noticed. No. Can we get to the hill? I don't think so. Oh, our house is right there.
Oh. Great!
God dang it. This is... It's not where I'd want to break down, really.
No.
Is that fuel pump running? Put your hand on it.
Yes.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's your phone, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
I probably should be smarter than this by now. But I'm not. I think it's that ignition switch. You can't have more fun for 500 bucks than this. This is what it's about right here.
Walking back, and you can just track where the car went. There's just little rusts everywhere. Just a whole long line of rusts.
mowed the yard. That's my cousin Aaron. He's putting a new building, well, concrete for the new building in over the way. And with that absolutely unmitigated disaster over with, there you have it. I think it's going to do it for this time of Pole Barn Garage. We have a really good Pontiac 350 and a Turbo 350 to use in something. Clearly, among other parts, if we could find another Lemans, that would be ideal. But even if we can't find another Lemans, you know, just a Pontiac body of some kind to dump that in, that'd be great. So, I don't know. You guys let me know. You know, you can always shoot me an email or Instagram, Facebook, DM. I try to, you know, look as many as I can. And if you come across something local to me right now, because I'm working full time and I don't have time to go across the country, see a good candidate for a Pontiac motor, you know, hey, let me know if it's in Missouri, Kansas, Iowa maybe. Look at that thing. You can't kill a Pontiac. They just, I mean, come on. It's this. And it laid 3 gears worth of rubber. I mean, come on. LS what? No thanks. We'll see you guys next time. Pole Barn Garage. Buy a hat maybe. I don't know. If you feel like it.